What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Jerry, and today's video is going to be on the Toronto Raptors, and we're going to be talking about how intriguing this team is going to be this season, and I think they're going to be pretty good. And we're going to hop right into the video, man. And I think one of the most interesting things about this team is their young core, their young group of guys. There's a few guys on this team that I think has some really good potential. They don't really get talked about, and the first person we're going to start off with is the guy that they drafted. In this year's past draft with the number 4 pick. I thought they were going to go with Jalen Suggs, but they went with Scotty Barnes. And after seeing him play in the summer league and in the preseason, it's looking like it was a pretty solid pick. And we all know Scotty Barnes has great size and length. He's about 6'9", 6'10". But his arms are super long. I don't know what his wingspan is off the top of my head, but I know it's probably something, crazy. But we all know, he's a freak of nature, super athletic, and he can pretty much guard anything walking. He's a really good defender, quick on his feet, and like I said, with that length, you can put him on bigger players as well, because with that length you can affect just about anybody's shot. But I think the most underrated factor, and this thing can just transgress him into just take him to that next that next level as a player, is his playmaking ability. Watching him in the summer league and mostly the preseason, his playmaking ability is off the charts. He can take the ball, push it in transition, and make a great pass. He just has great vision for a guy his size, and that's just something you don't that's just something you don't see from guys that big, the ability to see the floor like that and pass the ball. So I'm really high on Scotty Barnes. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be a really good player in the NBA. And this and this past draft class is just full of great players. So Scotty Barnes was a great pickup. He looks like he's fitting in with the team already, and we're gonna see how he developed. And this next player, the Raptors picked him up via traded Norman Powell for him, and that's Gary Trent Jr. And Gary Trent Jr., he's another young player. He has some potential. He's 6'5", played a 2. He's a lights out shooter. He can he's a catch and shoot shooter. Hits his 3-ball at a high clip. But watching him, you see some other parts of his game development. That's putting the ball on the floor and creating for himself. Whether it's in the pick and roll or in the ISO, it looks like he's trying to add that to his game. We saw him, he has the clutch factor to him. We saw him hit a big shot for Toronto last season. And, I knew, Gary Trent Jr. has had this poised in him, really since he came into the league, 2020 bubble with the Trail Blazers. Him as a rookie, he was starting. Well, he wasn't starting. He was coming off the bench, but he was taking and hitting big shots for the Portland Trail Blazers to help them get that 8th spot. So he has the mindset. He's comfortable with taking those shots, and he's also a solid defender. He's a solid defender. He got a nice frame, nice build to play defense on the perimeter. So he's just a very, very solid player, and he's still young, so he can get better. He can get even better than what he is right now. So I think that was a good pickup for them. And then I think this guy right here, he was really a steal, especially after seeing him in the preseason, and that's Precious Achiuwa. And he really showcased a lot of different abilities that he has that is just game changing, and one of them is being able to hit open jumpers. He hit a few open threes in the preseason. He hit most of his open mid-ranges in the preseason as well. So he has showed the ability to be able to knock down shots. He showed that he's a factor. He's going to be a major factor in transition. One play, he got the rebound, took it up himself, and got a nice little bounce pass for an assist. And then he's 6'8", 6'9", so he's quicker than a lot of bigs. So once he get that rebound and he run, he can seal that. We all know the first guy back on defense is always the point guard. He's going to get back, seal that point guard, throw it down to him. That's an easy two. And we all know he's very, when he get the ball close to around the rim, it's automatic. He's a great finisher around the rim. And I think he's a great defender. Even though he's 6'8" or 6'9", he has like a 7'2" wingspan, so that helps out a lot when he's down there against bigger players. He can affect their shots as well. And then this is another thing that doesn't get talked about is he has quick feet. So, with him having quick feet, he can switch out onto smaller players, and we all know how important that is on defense, especially if you're a team that want to run, switch everything. You need a big that can guard, smaller players. And, it's going to be interesting with Precious Achiuwa, because I don't think as of right now, he's the starter. So, and I think he's going to earn that spot, in the future of the season, because he looks really good. Like, he looks like he has a lot of potential. I don't know what Miami was thinking. When they let him go. But, anyways, man, moving on. And this player right here, I think he's one of the players that's grown the most since he came into the NBA, and it doesn't really get talked about that much, and that's OG Anunoby. And OG Anunoby, he might not seem like a young player because he's won the championship. And, we've seen him in a bunch of playoff series, but he's only 24 years of age. And, at age 24, you're nowhere near your prime. You probably hit your prime when you turn like 27, 28. But anyways, when OG Anunoby came into the league, most of his buckets probably came off cutting to the basket, maybe a few corner threes or some fast break buckets. Really not no half court buckets. OG Anunoby came into the league really as a defensive minded player, but looking at him now, we can tell like he's been working on his game. He can put the ball on the floor and score. He can shoot it off the dribble. His 3-point shot has gotten a lot better. And this season, I think they just named him as the number one scoring option, especially with Pascal Siakam. He's going to be out the first couple of weeks. And last season when Norman Powell got traded, and OG Anunoby, his points per game and his shots per game went up, and I think his shots per game went up to like 14, and he was averaging like 19, 20 points on it. So he's ready. He's ready to get more shots. I believe in him. I think I was just watching some footage on him, and I'm like, I didn't even know he had, the moves he was doing. I didn't even know he had that in his package. I saw him hit somebody with a tween step back, and I'm like, oh damn, I didn't like when he get this in his bag. So I'm really excited to see what he's gonna do this season. And then to go with all these young players, you got some seasoned vets on your team. You got Pascal Siakam. He's won a championship with the Raptors. He was a very, very intricate. He played a very intricate role in that championship too, with his defense and his ability to score the ball when needed. He had a pretty big bucket that really sealed the deal in Game 6 against the Warriors in 2019. And we all know he was battling some demons last year. Said he didn't feel like he was the guy when he felt like he deserved to be. So we're gonna see how they work that chemistry issue out. I don't think it's as big as a problem as as everybody's trying to make it seem. And you got Fred VanVleet. We all know about him, man. Drake's little mini me. Well, he's probably taller than Drake. I think Fred VanVleet like 5'10", 5'11", but that's besides the point. But he's just like, to me, he's just like Kyle Lowry, man. Both short, feisty guards who can shoot the tray ball, who can play make, and they cause havoc on the defensive end. So we all know what Fred VanVleet brings. He went and got 54 in the game last season. I thought that was pretty crazy. Got Goran Dragic, who was just in the NBA Finals 2 years ago, and even though he's old, his game goes well with age. It's all skill-based, just basically jumpers, finishing below the rim. So, he's going to play some pretty good minutes this season. That's if he's all in. We know he made those weird comments when he first got to Toronto. And yeah, man, so you got those guys, and then you got a great coach in Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse, I think he's a great coach. He's going to make sure that his team is playing at 100% all the time, giving it their all. And he's going to make sure they put on the show for the fans. I think the fans are going to enjoy watching this team this season. They got a lot of young, exciting players, and I'm going to be tuning into a few Raptor games myself, and we're gonna see how it goes for them this season. But anyways, man, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment down below. Who's your favorite Toronto Raptor? What do you expect for them this season? Just talk to me down in the comments, and then subscribe for more weekly content, man. Like I said, the NBA is returning, so we about to start getting more content out again, just how like it was, in the summertime, around spring. So, that's curtains.